Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. I am Destiny. If you are new here, then welcome. Today, Lord, I have tried to film this like 4 times. I have been interrupted 4 times. But anyways, we're going to try it again. So, what we are going to do today, I'm going to give my oracle cards a break, and I'll scrap my dice because I have rolled my dice, but it's like it doesn't resonate anymore because I kept going through stuff, right? So I was just rearranging my crystals. But we are going to check the planets today and we're going to look at some interesting aspects. The sun is in Leo. It is home in Leo, of course. The moon is in Sagittarius. We have Pluto, which has retrograded back into Capricorn. Mars is in Virgo right now. We also have Saturn in Pisces retrograding. Neptune is retrograding in Pisces. Chiron is retrograde and it is in the sign of Aries. Let's see, the nodes have shifted. We have the North Node in Aries and the South Node is in Libra at the moment. And so, yeah, let's talk about some aspects and what these things mean, right? So, for one, the sun and the moon, let's start with that. They are at opposite degrees and or I'm sorry, the sun and the moon are making a trine right now. Oh my Lord, I'm tripping. So a trine is giving a gift to our wants and needs right now. They are sort of in um, a harmonious, passionate sort of energy, right? Because they're in the sign of fire signs. Sun being in Leo, our want is to express the knowledge which is coming from our need is the moon, right? So there's a need for some type of knowledge or wisdom that we need to express at this moment. I always recommend that while the sun is in Leo, you are as expressive as you want to be. You never know where this energy can lead you, right? Now, given you want to make sure that you check your chart and see where Leo is because it may not be harmonious for you to express certain things at this time, right? But nonetheless, that's the energy right now. We're all in the want of expressing some sort of wisdom or knowledge. Our needs could lie in the area of travel, wisdom, spirituality, things like that, right? And I keep hitting my mic. I'm so sorry, y'all. Some other aspects, we also have Pluto opposite to the sun at the moment. And what I see that is that our wants are opposite to change. We're being seen as opposite to change in some sort of way. We also have the moon squaring Saturn at the moment. And usually when you see, oh, and the moon is squaring Mars also. So usually when you see the moon squaring signs like Saturn and Mars, you definitely want to be careful how you're engaging with other people. It could lead to like an explosive situation, just because Mars is like it's the red planet. It's passion. It's things like that, right? I don't want to associate it with just anger, but it can lead to that, right? Or you can lead to looking overly passionate to other people or something like that. Jupiter is trining Mars, so that does give, those are two masculine planets once again. So there is some sort of opportunity there, or I'm sorry, there's a gift there. So, like I said, a gift, it can be a good thing and a bad thing. There's a scale of things. When you have two masculine planets like Mars and Jupiter aspecting each other, you want to make sure you're not going further with things, going overboard with your passions or you know what I'm saying, like your actions. You want to watch your actions and make sure that they're not erratic at the moment. We also have Mars opposite to Saturn. And it's in, like, I have this placement, the signs and everything. Like my Mars is in Virgo and it's opposite to Saturn in Pisces. And so basically this makes you feel as though you need to fight for your life in a sense. Like you have to find the will. You have to find something that you are passionate about and that you are you have that undying will for, to put it forth and to make it happen, you know? And obviously you see how this could be an advantage and also a disadvantage. It pulls at your will. Saturn can sometimes restrict, but it's also calling for you to structure your passions in a better manner, right? It's asking you to add some sort of groundedness to your passions, to your motivations and things like that, and your actions. in my opinion. That's what I'm reading, right? And when you have it in your chart, this is an everyday thing. Like you're constantly coming up with passions and motivations to go after the things that you dream about, right? And with the Saturn and Pisces, it gives you that unique element of your reality being based in almost unreality. Like your reality is based in dreams, imaginations, and things like that, right? And so you're a person who likes to, you could be a person, could be, right? Depending on how your Saturn is aspected, you could be a person who likes to live out their fantasies and dreams in real life and, stuff like that. But with Mars there and an aspect in that, it can give it the passion to, for you to act on that and bring your dreams into a reality. You just have to continuously find that motivation and find that willpower to do so, right? And so hopefully that's what we're all here doing today. We're all here to learn some things, and I want you guys to get interactive also, and like you can add some things to the bottom of this video also that you think is helpful for people to know. Now today I am giving, I wanted to roll my dice also before I jump into what I'm going to talk about. Hey, I'll take it. Okay. So we have the number 9, which I associate with the 9th house. So this is the area of spirituality, travel, wisdom, foreign languages, and things like that, right? We have the moon, and we also have Aries. So some type of passion. Yeah, right? We're getting the same message. Some type of passion when it comes to emotions and knowledge and wisdom and things like that. And so that really just kind of resonated with me. I let me know if it resonated for you guys also. But jumping into today's topic, it is one that I love to talk about. Like I said in the last video, y'all, I love to talk all things relationships and just, advices like that. I really want to maybe add that to my profession, maybe at some time. I don't know. That's a thought. I'm not going to hold myself to that. If it happens, it happens. But I love to talk about these things. I love to listen to people who have gone and got the schooling for it, have done the work, or just people who know things from real life experiences and they give great advice, because there are people like that haven't been to school, but you can still listen to them because what they're saying, like it resonates and they're giving great objective advice, right? And so I am not going to tell you how to behave in a relationship with this advice. This is just broad scale things to think about before going into a long-term relationship to give yourself first the best outcome. Make sure that you are happy within these relationships and the other person is happy and that this situation is harmonious and not something that you're going to have to heal from in the long run. We're constantly healing beings. So don't ever think you're going to reach a state of just, I'm healed and that's it. Like, no, we're constantly healing. But like I said, this is just for protection going on to that dating scene. So these are acting up so bad today, y'all. I hope my nose is not red on camera. But my first tip is to determine if you are ready to be in a relationship. I have said this part so many times. It was like I said, I tried to film before. And so, yes. So determine if you are ready to be in a relationship, right? What does that look like? Working on yourself. If you feel like you have worked on yourself, it'll feel like you're ready to merge your energy with someone else, right? When you're ready to merge your energy with someone else. Now, some of us may have done the work, but also you want to make sure that you are dating. And so that's another tip, to learn how to actually date. So but going back to doing the work, right? What does doing the work look like? Facing your childhood traumas, right? Facing those wounds and going to therapy and maybe speaking to someone to heal those things that have held you back in adulthood that you deal with from your childhood. Our childhoods play like a huge role in who we are as people today, right? And how we date other people. A lot of times we're mimicking things that we saw from other people who were not healed. And so you have to heal from those things and free your family line, right? Because once the little ones coming under you see the things that you're doing and they start mimicking your healthy and healed behavior, now sets a new tone for the family line, and we have children mimicking healthy behavior, right? So they're going to be hopefully headed towards healthy relationships, right? So yeah. But the next tip was learning how to actually date. So, like, I see so many people, I myself was guilty also, did not know how to properly date. Just a lack of attention, I feel like maybe is pushing people to just jump into relationships, and they just get a little bit of attention and they start feeling like, oh, I love this person, and da da da. And they don't even really know this person, or they've only known this person for 2 weeks or something like that. And they're ready to be like, I love you. It happens, but give yourself some time. Don't feel like you have to rush into these situations, because then you'll spend more time trying to heal from something that you weren't ready for. You get what I'm saying? Like, or something that wasn't resonating with you or harmonious to you. So, yes, learn how to actually date. Stop just jumping in these relationships, because that is the quickest way to get your feelings hurt and be disappointed, right? It's you're not giving yourself enough time to get to know this person. And that is another reason why you also want to know yourself, because if you don't know yourself and you haven't done the work and you jump into a situation like that, it leaves you very vulnerable, because there are some people who know themselves, right? But they're bad people, and they know that. They know they're terrible people and they'll take advantage of you because you don't know anything. Like, so yeah, know yourself, date. That's how you get that experience. So you're not so fresh. Like, you're not, you know, that moldable to where you can be taken advantage of. And let's see. The next tip was to learn what kind of relationship you want to be in. So for the people who need to hear it, you are not required to be monogamous. You are not required to be or act or fake being monogamous, right? You don't have to do that. It's 2023. Like, there are all different types of relationships out here. Be in the actual relationship that you want to be in, right? Karma is a real thing. Do not feel like you're going to get out here and play a person and it's not going to come back on you. It definitely will. All different types of relationships out here. You are not required to be in a monogamous relationship. So, that's a part of dating. Date around, you don't have to jump straight into a relationship with a person. But if you know that you are not a monogamous person, you're more than likely going to attract people who aren't monogamous also. And this weird dynamic that I've seen, right? And it's not a man or woman thing, like most things aren't. It's a person thing. I see that there are people who like to shame or force another, because it is forcing if you're not being honest. Like, they like to force another person to be monogamous when they're not a monogamous person. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like, you don't want to be with just one person, but you want this person to conform and only want you. That's controlling and that's manipulative, like, you're not even that type of person. And I see this so much. There are so many people who crying and boohooing or mad and, doing crazy things to other people because they found out that they are talking to or like sleeping with other people, but they're doing the exact same thing. Like, I just do not get it. That's very manipulative. Like, don't do that to a person. You're not required to be in a monogamous relationship, and you can accept that another person doesn't have to want that either, and you guys can come together and be in a harmonious relationship together. You don't have to go and try to find a person who's all about you and force them into a situation that they don't want to be in, right? So have these discussions with people. Ask them, like, okay, so what type of relationship are you looking for? Boom. It's that simple, right? Don't get out here just feeling like, oh, well, he acting like he like me and I'm acting like I like him, so we must be in a relationship together. No, do not make that assumption. You need to have that discussion with a person and ask them, where are you headed, right? And you need to know where you are looking to head, so that if they're not going in that direction, burn out. You should not, it's no reason for you to be there no more. Like, stop, don't be desperate. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you found a person that you connected with. Okay, you can connect with a whole lot of different people. Let it go. It is not that serious. You have to continue to move on, right? That's where the little bit of logical part comes into dating. Like, you don't want it to just be fully about feelings, because then you'll end up in a situation where you have to heal from. And then my other tip was to have a set of unwavering standards, right? Have your absolute yeses and your absolute nos. You want to know what it is that you do and don't accept in a relationship. because that is a part of setting boundaries, right? And you set these boundaries for yourself, is what I hear from experts. A lot of people are using boundaries to control other people. That's not how boundaries work. A boundary is something that you are willing to accept, right? So when you set boundaries, you're setting them for yourself. Remember that. So, yes, when you set these boundaries, they're for you. So determine what it is that you can and can't tolerate from a person, basically, right? Let me plug up my laptop because it's fixing to die on me. So yes, yeah, and that's a thing that you can learn in therapy. A lot of times, your therapist can help you with setting healthy boundaries before running and jumping into a relationship, especially if you are an empath. I know people don't like that word because people have used it a lot, but that's because there are a lot of empaths. Like, I don't understand what, like, we're empathetic people naturally to a degree as humans. So if someone wants to refer to themselves as an empath, I don't see anything wrong with it. Like, most of us are, like, we're empathetic like that. Some people more than others. I do believe that there are individuals who are highly empathetic, and it bothers them and kind of cripples them in a way on a day-to-day basis because I experienced that. But that's where healthy boundaries come in, and it can change it so much to where you're able to tap into the more logical, like your ego a little more, right? Your ego is not necessarily centered in logic, but it protects you. So when your solar plexus is off, you have a problem with expressing yourself. That can clog up your throat chakra, all type of stuff, right? So you want to make sure those chakras are aligned, honey. Next, oh, and a part of that tip with the standards, right? Because I put a little slash here. I said, folks will test you. And what are some tests that you can run into? You can run into that undying loyalty test, and you can and the worthiness test. So that's what I'm calling them. So the undying loyalty test is basically almost like a person fishing for a dummy. I'm sorry to say it, like they're fishing for a person who, but really you're not a dummy, right? I don't like to say it like that, but that's what they're looking for, and that's kind of how cold they feel about it. Like they feel like you're dumb, but really you just have not experienced a person like that, and you don't understand. Believe this, my camera died also. This is what I'm talking about right now. You gotta find the wheel and find the wheel. Okay, and so what was I talking about? I was saying that when you get on the dating scene, people will test you, and they have these two of these little tests that I want to talk about: the unwavering loyalty test, and then they have that worthiness test, right? People will try to test you to see, like, are you going to be dumb, basically, for them, when really they're trying to see how vulnerable they can get you. And so sometimes we do things for people because we think, oh, this is what a good girlfriend or good boyfriend or good whatever would do for their significant other, when really this person is just trying to see how far they can take things with you and take advantage of you, right? And the word narcissism has been overplayed. You rarely run into a narcissist, but some people do have narcissistic tendencies where they do these things and find pleasure from making you look kind of silly in some type of way, right? When it's a perception thing, because from their perception, they're trying to make you look silly and they're trying to embarrass you in a way, but you don't feel like these things are silly or embarrassing when you're doing it. You just feel like you're being a good person until you change your perception and you see, like, oh, you know what, this person is actually taking advantage of this, however. So they'll do that undying loyalty thing to see, like, if you're going to stay around and what you're going to put up with and things like that. And then they have a worthiness test where it's like they trying to assess how they can treat you based on maybe things that you have or how you look, and these things like this. They come up with these systems almost to where it's like, oh, if you don't look like this or have this element about yourself, usually it's like being in proximity to whiteness in some type of way, then they try to make it seem as though you can be treated like X, Y, and Z, right? So just to avoid these tests, there are certain things, like certain boundaries that you need to set, certain hard yeses and hard nos that you need when going into a relationship. They look different for everybody, so I can't tell you what those are. You know what I'm saying? But based upon your love language, you'll know that, right? And I will link like a regular or a relative. Sorry, I said regular. A relative video up above about like using astrology to for compatibility. I think it was. I don't know. I'm gonna link up above. I feel like it's kind of relevant to this. You can figure out how you're compatible with another person through astrology. Um, the next tip is that this is just like some basic information to because I feel like it's a little relevant to the conversation. So, feminine energy, and I'm not associating that with just a woman because, like I said, there are different types of people out there. There are different relationship dynamics, right? But in its essence, feminine figures, people who resonate with the feminine more, are really meant to attract, and people who are of more of the masculine are meant to have some sort of passion about themselves or to push out energy, right? So basically what I'm saying is that when you resonate with the feminine more, instead of you putting masculine energy into situations that require femininity, then you prosper that way. So what does that look like? Instead of you being the person that's like fishing for people and out, attract, you know what I'm saying? Put a little more energy into yourself and the vibes that you give off and like that, right? You need to focus more on being attractive to the thing that it is that you want or need in your life. And then people who resonate with the masculine more, you want to push out. So you want to push out some type of, like have some type of passion. Go out and you're the seeker. You're the one out looking for things that resonate with you, right? And not just waiting around for something to come your way. Rather, you go out and you get the things that it is that you need, right? So that can go into more areas than just dating, but you see how it can be used for dating, I'm pretty sure, right? The tip is don't let trauma be the base for your relationship. So a lot of us feel like we have such a deep connection with people, and usually you probably have like some Pluto going on, some type of karmic Saturn maybe going on with this person. Don't let this don't trauma bond with people and let that be the basis for your relationship. So like you're going through a hard time, maybe you lost somebody and this person lost somebody, and so now you guys are connecting over this sort of energy. You get what I'm saying? Like that's trauma. That's like a huge form of trauma bonding. You don't want to go into a relationship and have that be the basis of your relationship, because as soon as you or that other person heal from that situation, you don't know if like you guys have enough things in common to keep you together at that point. You get what I'm saying? And my last point was you don't have to be loyal to a group of people who aren't loyal to you. Date out. This is information for everyone. Like if the situation that you're in does not resonate with you, or people that they're trying to say you should be dating, if it doesn't resonate with you, date out. Date people of other communities, whether that is spiritual belief or race, things like that. Like date out, honey. Date someone else. If the people in your surroundings or within your group, whatever, like I said, whatever that label is, spiritually, racially, whatever, date out. Like if they're not resonating with you, you're not obligated. You don't have any set loyalty to these people. You don't have to only date them. Date out. Find someone else who resonates with your thoughts, beliefs, and love language better, regardless of what they look like, right? So that's a part of dating. I advise people like in the dating period, like do date something other than what you're used to, right? If you're used to dating the thug, like street guy, bad boy, you know what I'm saying, that type of vibe, date somebody else like who's not into those things. Try something new. And yeah, those are just some tips like to keep you safe, keep you fresh out here. You want to make sure that you are actively dating though. Like don't just be sitting at home and curled up behind your sweater, you know what I'm saying? Like get out here and do the work, do the dating, fail a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Pick yourself back up, learn some things, and just continue on. It's all an experience. That's my last thing that I wanted to say to tie it all in. It's all an experience, and don't be afraid to experience. Experience is the best teacher, right? There's no better way to know something than to have gone through it. Seriously. Now, some of these things are said to keep you protected and to avoid, an unnecessary heartbreak or things like that. But hey, we're human. Heartbreak is going to happen, especially if you are young and you're just discovering yourself. It's okay. It's not the end of the world, right? You have so much more life ahead of you. And so, yeah, that is the end of my little segment here. If you guys are interested in other videos, I do have, videos about veganism, videos on hair when I had and I'm gonna do probably like a updated lock video, but I do have like hair videos from back in the day when I had long natural hair or whatever that wasn't locked. Um, I have my video where I cut my hair off. I'll link that somewhere also. Just check out, some of my other videos. I do readings. If you guys are interested in a reading, you can definitely reach out to me. You can DM me on Instagram. My Instagram will be linked, or not linked, but it will be listed below to where you can follow me on Instagram and just see like different things that I do over there. It's a little more personal. You may see, like, you can watch my story and see different things that I'm doing. But yes, I appreciate your time here today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.